Hi everyone, welcome to Good Morning Toowoomba with Ben Apsey and...
I'm Daryl Nicholson from the Symbiotic Centre, mate. Here we are down at Travel Mugs, Globetrotters Travel, Studio 4350 and what is it? The lawyer?
Laporte Lawyers.
Laporte Lawyers.
Starts Monday.
Starts Monday, yeah. Okay. So the Symbiotic Centre is what I'm calling
People
this
are
now.
still very confused by what's going on here. They don't quite understand that an address can have multiple businesses at it, and yet most people in Toowoomba will have been to Grand Central.
Simply put it like that. Bunker Records had Bunker Coffee.
Exactly.
There's a place down the road.
I think with what's going on economically, you're going to start seeing a lot more of these kind of business ventures.
Yeah, that's right.
Where
exactly.
there's a collective of people that have worked out that it's better to work together than separate.
Exactly, mate. So, big shout out to Glenn Hall, a friend of mine from Townsville. He's watching the watch party. So, g'day, Glenn. Friday, the 16th of October, 2020, low of 10. So it's getting warmer. It's now 18 degrees. It's going to be a high of 30 today, sunny, and FA chance of rain, mate. Hashtag WTFITR. Where is the rain?
Yeah.
Where is it? But anyhow, mate, it's been a long week for me. I didn't start the week off very well, but I guess it's been a long week for Gladys.
It's been a long
and
week.
It's still going on.
It's been a long week for anyone involved in politics.
It's been a long week for Dan. Scotty's stuck in Townsville, up north. His plane's broken down. He can't do National Cabinet today. They can't do it. They haven't got a secure enough internet because they wanted to fly him back to Canberra and it's secure down there. Now his plane's got technical difficulties, so he's stuck in North Queensland. So National Cabinet's on hold today, and still thousands of Australians got to be repatriated back to Australia. So that's still on hold.
Surely they could get him back to do it where Palaszczuk does theirs from. That'd be a secure location, wouldn't it?
Don't we have an Air Force that have other jets? Like, couldn't they just put him in a Hornet and just whiz him down there?
God.
Anyhow, he's not
Wouldn't
moving.
it be nice? Wouldn't it be cool if the Prime Minister was an Air Force pilot or something? That'd be, oh yeah, I'll just take this one, see you boys.
Like Independence Day.
Yeah.
I bet you Jen and the kids will fly up for the weekend to see him. Oh, stop it. I'll get in trouble. I'll get in trouble this time, okay? Mate.
I'll let you do the talking.
I think that's the best thing to do. Local news, mate. Scott's PGC College last night at Rumours. Really good night. The valedictory dinner, yeah. Nice group of kids. A lot of them had their plans, their future, what they're going to do. A lot of them in 20 years' time are going to be retired. I'm like, good luck. There's hurdles in your life that will come in that way.
I know what I'd like to be doing in 5 years' time. I'd love to be sitting in the room where it happens, around the table, at council, as a councillor. I would love to be in that position come 5 years' time.
Right.
Whether that actually eventuates or not is up to the voters.
That's right, exactly. Elizabeth Barnes has joined in, Robin Prensler, and Robin is telling us, mate, 224 New Zealanders are coming into Australia today.
Yes.
So the bubble's open.
Well, the bubble's open, so which is really good.
Robin.
So that's into New South Wales, the ACT, and the Northern Territory.
Right, good. So it's starting to happen. Mate, Chronicle have closed their app. I'm not very happy about that. I'm thinking about cancelling my subscription today, so I'm going to ring them. I really like the Chronicle app, and I'm a bit peeved. So
it's because they've gone to a web base, so a phone-friendly web.
It's not that friendly. I hate it. Anyhow, I'm going to ring them today and have a talk to them. The Garden City Herald, mate. Will we talk about this?
No, I'm going to stay out of this.
Let's stay out of this.
I'm going to stay out of this one.
I just want to give a shout out to the Garden City Herald. They're a new newspaper online that has no paywall, and they've got some really funny articles. There's an article about Trevor Watt Says, so if you haven't checked it out yet, go and check out the Garden City Herald. Robin Prensler saying, can never open the bloody thing unless you subscribe. That's exactly right with the Chronicle. But
no, occasionally you can open a story.
Free story, yeah.
But they're usually lifestyle stories about, what bras are on sale, or what motorbikes are selling in the middle of the desert, type stuff.
Grace Cronin's just joined in as well. G'day, Grace. So anyhow, Garden City Herald, check it out. They've got 34 likes at the moment. They've had a bit of a swipe about people climbing tabletop.
Maybe that's what we need
influencers?
to do. For us to be considered influencers, we need to climb tabletop.
Can the production guy help us with that? Can we do it?
Well, the production guys told us that for our weather report that we should do take leaf out of Family Guy when the Family Guy weather report, and just cut to me at the door going, "It's sunny."
Right. Well, if we're doing tabletop, mate, we better get the life flight crew ready to pick me up halfway because I'm not going to make it. So Robin's saying, what's she saying? Yep. Shit stories. This is good having the interaction there. Good on you, Robin. Local and Live is on tomorrow. Oh, don't forget Garden City Herald. Check it out. I did find it quite funny. Yeah, there's some funny stories in there. A bit of satire about what's going on in Toowoomba. They haven't written about us yet, but we'll wait in bated breath to see if they do. Local and Live's on tomorrow night at the Powerhouse, the House of Power. Rusty Pickups are on tomorrow night. Grace Drummond, who I believe is a very talented lady. Dirty Water. So get your tickets from Eventbrite. You talk about this one. Hogan's Jewellers, you're going down there today.
Yeah, so some of the sunflowers that we've got here, and the guys
behind us, yeah.
Guys that have supplied that mentioned to me yesterday that they were celebrating 75 years in business. So would love to do something for them.
Okay, good. That's excellent, mate. Take them down. G'day to Lockie and the team down there. Robin's asking about the Durans reunion. That was last weekend, Robin, so that's all gone. So sorry about that. Mate, Keith Urban, he's got a new album out, The Speed of Now. And funny, in lockdown, he always wanted to sing a song with Pink, and he's written a song, One Too Many. And Pink got the song and said, yeah, I'll do it. So she recorded it over wherever she lives, sent him the stuff, and he produced it. He did the mixing at home in his own studio. So he's played every instrument on there as well. So it's going to be interesting. And Keith Urban, I've told you the story. I used to drink with Keith Urban when he drank. Did I tell you that?
No.
He used to play with a band called Rusty and the Ayers Rockettes, and they used to play at the Lake Hotel, which is burnt down. The lake was near Jeff Udy's motorbike shop there.
Oh, yeah.
Anyhow, he played there on a Thursday night with Rusty and the Ayers Rockettes, and they had a band. The song they had was "Michael, a dingo's got my baby," and after then we used to go down the National and have a drink with Keith. And he's an Ipswich boy, but Toowoomba taught by Owen Ray how to play the guitar and sing.
I used to have a drink with Dusty.
I used to have a drink with Keithy. Yeah. It was at the Shadows. Yeah, Robin, the Dreams reunion was with the Shadows thing last weekend. That was a really good night too. But anyhow, Keith Urban's album is coming out. The Speed of Now, and One Too Many.
Admit, you probably won't
with Pink
ever hear me listening to that.
Oh, mate.
This country music.
Well, actually, he said to Michael on ABC this morning, he's just playing music. He's in no genre at all. He's just playing music. And it's not country, mate. You need to listen. I'll get the album, we'll have a listen to it. So, mate, there was something about the census this month. Is there a census happening? I didn't.
Next year.
Oh, right, okay. So they're getting
years.
ready for it? Okay, righto. So the census is going to be coming together. In national news, what is Australia's best burger? News.com are putting it out there. In Sydney, apparently, there's a place called Mary's. They've got the best burger. And in Brisbane, Ben's Burgers. I've never even heard of Ben's Burgers. What's your best burger, do you think?
It sounds like a really good shop, that one.
Yeah, it does, actually. So I can recommend the Wagyu beef burger down at the Toowoomba Sports Club in the Cantina Cafe. It's really good. Got a nice barbecue sauce on it. It's absolutely beautiful. So check that out. Good price as well. We talked about Scotty.
I'm trying to think where the best burgers in town here are. What's the best burger?
Al. What about Al up at the burger joint up in Ruthven Street?
Fat Burgers.
Fats Burgers. He makes some great burgers, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a burger place up at High Street. I haven't been there. Henry's, I think it's called.
That's Checkers on Tour.
Checkers on Tour. People rave about their roast beef buns and burgers.
Oh, and there's Andrew's Meats with their
Andrew's Meats. Yeah,
they make it's not really a burger.
Yep, they make some good stuff. Deb Durl's just joined in. G'day, Deb. Good to see you down at the sports club the other night. So Scotty's stuck in North Queensland. Mate, unemployment's rising. It's going to get worse with this JobKeeper being cut and JobSeeker.
Well, it's really interesting that, there won't be an issue, JobSeeker was cut at the start of this week.
Yep.
And this week in the CBD has just been dead.
It has died, I must admit, yeah. Yep.
People have got to that point where they're going...
They haven't got that disposable stuff now, so...
Well, if they don't have the money to spend, they won't spend it.
Yep. 6.9% and rising, 900,000 people unemployed in the country at the moment. And that's probably not still taking into account casuals and part-timers.
Well, I find it really interesting, it's across all levels of government, no matter what side of politics you're on. Everyone talks about we're going to create jobs by building stuff.
We talked about this yesterday, yeah.
Well, what happens when the building is finished? What happens when those 10,000 people working on the Inland Rail, for example, the Inland Rail's finished?
Yep.
We just go back to unemployment again?
Well, Toowoomba bypass, range bypass, mate.
Gone.
They're gone. All
That
the
was
workers are gone.
1,800 workers.
I've seen one worker, he used to come into the club and he'd be in his bypass gear.
Like that
He's now with council.
That infrastructure is really good, and it does build business confidence and encourages private enterprise to then invest in other stuff. Like you could say, a private enterprise might go, well, there's 10,000 people working on the Inland Rail. I'm going to build an office building that you can strata title and buy a floor. That's a good example of something that could come out of that. The issue is that at the moment there's nothing really happening up here. The Inland Rail is stalled because the farmers seem to think that engineers won't ever be able to deal with all the water. Well, good engineering can fix pretty much anything. So
exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Have they ever heard of a bridge?
Yep. Exactly. Yep.
It's got to go somewhere, and most of the railway line goes where it used to be anyway.
Yep.
And it's the railway line that's there has never caused that big of an issue. If they can build huge 5-star and 6-star buildings in Dubai, in places where there used to be ocean, I'm sure that in Australia we have the minds and the expertise to be able to build a bloody railway line.
Yep. Oops. Okay. I'm hiding behind the paywall there. Yep. No, that's a good point, mate. Absolutely great point.
But we need to really, the country doesn't need. It needs the infrastructure jobs now. That's good. But there needs to be permanent jobs.
Yep. Exactly. Not this part. Yeah. Not this project work. Mate, the ACT election is on this weekend, Saturday. Labor is set to win.
Romp it in, I would imagine.
They're going to romp it in. So will that set a precedence for Queensland? We will find out on the 31st of October.
It'll be certainly interesting, and it's a bit like the upcoming by-election for Groom. It notoriously and usually in a by-election, the swing will be against the sitting government.
Yep.
So that's one thing that whoever the candidates are for Groom, that is a potential that it could happen. I mean, I doubt that the LNP candidate would ever lose the seat of Groom, but this is the best opportunity for another party to really come out swinging.
It's going to be interesting, so watch this space.
It'll be a very, very interesting by-election, this one, I think.
In world news, China's thrown a tantrum, mate. They don't want to buy our cotton now. So they didn't want to buy our wine, don't want to buy our beef, now it's cotton.
And our coal.
And our coal, yeah. So
but they've already reached their import limit anyway, so they weren't going to buy any more coal this year from us.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, well. Anyhow, we'll just see. But
not a huge issue, that one.
I think the thing is we still need China because they still make a lot of stuff for us, the phones and clothing and all that sort of stuff.
Something like $200 billion in two-way trade.
Yep, okay, right. We need them. We created it. We just can't cut it off straight away unless we get manufacturing happening back in Australia, which will put the cost up.
Manufacturing, if the investment from the government was to invest in manufacturing businesses, so say for example, like the Labor government has just announced they're going to bring train making back to Maroochydore.
Yep, yeah, I saw that, yeah.
Maroochydore? Maryborough?
Maryborough, I think, yeah.
They're going to build trains again in Queensland.
Yep.
Now, the funny thing is there that Queensland operates on a rubbish-sized gauge of narrow. So to get anything built here for New South Wales and Victoria, you have to put it on a boat to get it down there. Or at least that's how it used to work. They might have upgraded the lines by now.
But I've got no idea. But
which is what they're planning to do with this fast rail thing, is they want to upgrade to a standard gauge, which I think is a great move. Queensland should never have had a narrow gauge. Why they couldn't have just bitten the bullet and gone, you know what? We'll do standard gauge because it's standard and it's easy to buy rolling stock when it's just a normal size.
They didn't look into the future. So, you know, as we said, now when you're planning...
Governments are really, really good at only looking at an election cycle.
Election cycle, yeah. Yep. London, tighter restrictions are happening in Paris. So COVID is sort of ugly.
But they are going into winter over there.
Yeah. And interesting, remember California when they went into summer, all the COVID cases went up. So we'll be going into summer soon, so I'm going to be curious to see where this goes. But 2 weeks after Carnival, mate.
We're good.
Maybe Palaszczuk, not so silly, closing the borders. So who knows? But anyhow. Mate, before we talk about sport, let's talk about the council considers an option on a new admin building for staff.
Yeah, so they're looking at doing a new admin building. So the two that are there are
antiquated.
Well past their use by date.
Yeah.
They're quite run down. They're starting to be quite dilapidated.
Yep.
In their aesthetic appeal.
Yep.
In the precinct that they're building there, you've got the City Hall, you've got the RSL getting done up.
$4 million
the
in
annex,
RSL,
the really nice new library in Civic Square precinct.
Yep.
And then in amongst those nice buildings in the art gallery is this horrible mix of 3 other admin buildings that just really need to be knocked down. So it's about combining those into...
Speaking of buildings that are going through a facelift, the corner of Hume and Herrie Street, the old church there.
The church and
Albany
House. Yeah.
And they've taken the whole roof off, the iron, and they're re-roofing it. So I don't know who owns those buildings, but they're getting a facelift, mate. So that's, again, really good to see. Up the road here, Margaret Street, where the Mexican place was.
Office building
going
building
there.
with a car park underneath for the offices.
Still more investment in this city, so it's great.
Little glimmers of hope.
Yep.
They are.
Yep. In sport, just very quickly, the AFL continues. I'm not sure who's playing, but I think Geelong are on.
Over my head, the sport.
My friend Ross down in hospital is a mad AFL player. There's a photo of him at home. He used to play AFL in the 80s. Late 80s, early 90s, and he's jumped 1.5 metres to 2 metres in the air. Quite an athlete he was back then. And Storm versus Raiders tonight. Go the Raiders! So I'd like to see the Raiders get up. So
I'm going to put my money on the Storm there.
Okay, right. I'll tell you what, I'll give you $10 if the Storm wins. And you give me 10 if the Raiders win. So, mate,
how about a free coffee?
We can do that. We can negotiate coffee.
A contra deal.
I've stayed on the green tea today, and I'm drinking water at the moment.
Well, I've had to cut back on my coffee.
Well,
with what's happening this week.
Yep.
It was advised that I cut back on the caffeine because it's not good for my anxiety. And when I didn't sleep whatsoever on Tuesday night after something happened, then people just need to be really cautious that people have mental health issues.
Exactly, mate. And I had that crash on Monday.
Doesn't take much to trigger it. So
Bob and Deb, they're Ross's sister and brother-in-law. They've just joined in. G'day. We were just talking about Ross jumping in the air playing AFL back in his fit days. So hope you guys are going well, and say good day to Ross when you see him. Speaking, as I was saying,
Drew Cam, depot man.
Oh, did he just walk past?
Just wandered past. Right. Gave us a wave.
I'm off to the doctor, get my blood pressure checked. I went to the Hooper Centre and I'm running a bit high, so I'm going to go and have a talk to him about that. But in saying that, green tea and water, take time to look after your health, or you'll be forced to take time to look after your illness. I'm going to leave us with that thought today. What do you think?
I would agree with that. I think it's really important that if it is mental health related, seek professional help. There is nothing bad about getting a second opinion from a different GP. There is nothing bad about asking your GP for a mental health care plan. There is nothing bad about going and talking to a psychologist, even if it's just to rant at them for an hour.
And we were talking again yesterday, it's the highest it's ever been this year.
It is, and it's vital that people, if someone comes to you and says, I'm thinking bad thoughts, I'm having these issues, the best thing you can do is encourage them to seek mental health support and professional help. I'm not the person to talk to about it.
No.
I'm not a psychologist.
No.
A GP isn't the person to talk to about mental health because that's not their training. They're trained how to fix your ailments, but a psychologist or a psychiatrist is specially trained to deal with what's going on up here.
Yeah, I think GPs get scared of mental health. They'll just refer you straight away. It's not their forte, so
it's a really touchy thing. It only takes the slightest wrong response and you could trigger something. So
Light and Dark Promotions over there, mate. He's doing a great job there for us, so really do appreciate everything that Luke does. And if you're looking for any sort of production work, we can certainly help you for a small fee to live stream anything or record something for you, edit an ad. Just give us a challenge and we'll be up for it. So
say yes to the opportunities that are presented.
Yep.
And then work out how to deal with them.
That's right. Exactly. Okay, mate, I'm going to wrap up. I've really got to get to my car. I left it down at Rumours last night and walked home, and I've got to get up to the doctors. So I'm Daryl Nicholson, Toowoomba 4358 TV. It's more than just a postcode. And as always, thanks for joining us with Good Morning Toowoomba. Remember to like and share us on Facebook. Invite your friends along to watch the show as well. Subscribe on YouTube. I'm Ben Apsey. Take care.